All right, good afternoon, I guess, right? We're already short the morning. My name is Mansij, and I'm from 98 batch BID Misra. The last time I spoke to any group of BID people was in Bitotsav in the core night. I was doing the punch event in which in 5 minutes you first speak for the topic, then against the topic, then you draw for the topic, you mime for the topic, and you sing for the topic. It's a fest you want to get into, but it was amazing. I passed out from BID in 2002, went on to become an engineer as everybody else, in this room actually is. Given into TCS for like 3.5 years, got completely bored, almost lost track of reality because, it's a cut-paste job. I didn't like it too much. Went into CSC and found it even more cut-paste job, so I didn't like it that too much again. Joined a product company in Noida, which was pretty good at the beginning. Then it wanted to become another TCS, so again didn't like it that too much. Well, everyone said you should do an MBA. You can speak pretty well, right? And you can write pretty funny mails and stuff. Do an MBA. And I ended up joining a startup in San Francisco, which was into extremely high-density, in-memory data analytics stuff. And we used to work for all large organizations like Visa, Boeing, and so on and so forth. That company went into an exit in 2010. It's $80 million all-cash deal. We made money. Came back home, booked myself a BMW 5 Series, came back home and decided that no, I don't want that car. I don't want to get into the same job of a stable life and stuff. So we decided to do this. There you go, that's all. So I thought of about this talk in my head, and I thought that typically what happens is every founder comes up on the stage and talks a lot about their journey and their stuff. So much so that the guys on the other side say, "ठीक है यार, मेरे पास भी माँ है." Right, so it's exactly what happens, right? So I thought, how could I make it like a little bit easier on the crowd? Because every time you hear the same guy talking about the same stuff all over again, we need to do processes, sales अच्छा करना है, marketing ठीक करना है, investors को खुश रखना है. It's like the same kind of stuff that happens in almost all events. So I try to do some things different. I hope you would not mind me taking you through that. Okay, so let me just give you a quick perspective of who I am and what we do. So our company's name is ThreadSol, and there are 7 billion us in the world. It's a pretty large population out there, and look around, you don't see naked people, right? Even though your best moments might be without clothes, but you know what, that's not what we're doing right now here. We all need clothes, okay? As simple as this. And if you all need clothes, then somebody has to make it, and it's actually a $1 trillion industry. So if you're talking about large market, there is a large market, okay? And if there's a basic need of every human being, that's what it satisfies, so it's important. And there are 500,000 factories globally which make 90 billion garments a year. It's a really large business. It's subterranean kind of nature. You don't really think too much about that, but it's okay. And in fact, for all these manufacturers, 500,000 manufacturers in all these countries, the cost of manufacturing is actually 70% the fabric cost and 30% their processes and stuff. What we do is our products reduce that by 10 to 15%. All right, so 7 billion people using 90 billion garments in 500,000 factories. Every factory's cost is 70% fabric and 30% whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? That's what we reduce. Simple as this. And we would actually become the top garment tech company in the world because that space is somehow open. Nobody wants to invest. Nobody wants to make. The brilliant minds of our times want you to go and click an ad. Great, wonderful for us. People like us can go and build a business like this. So that's a quick brief about what we do. I definitely want to talk about my journey. I'm so sorry about that. You can definitely say आपके पास माँ है. I appreciate that. But I mean, I'm going to make a quick spin on this. So what I decided to actually do is see, every journey is an evolution, right? So I have kind of put two evolutions in perspective and kind of try to weave together a quick talk here. So the Earth was formed 4.5 billion years back, and ThreadSol was formed 4.5 years back, right? So we are billion times younger than the Earth, but that's not a problem really. And as the 9 billion years of universe's evolution before the Earth was formed, the universe is around 13.7 billion years old. Every year these scientists find another new decimal, 13.76, 7632, whatever it is. So 9 billion years of universe evolution actually produced all these elements, this calcium, this oxygen, this iron, this gold and stuff. So that actually formed the basic blocks for finding and creating this amazing Earth that we all inhabit today. And these are the 4 founders who quit their jobs, so they were really stupid, but that's what 50 years of their combined experience in different industries paved the building blocks for creating ThreadSolve, which is 1 billion times younger than the Earth, all right? Let me just go back, next slide. When at the beginning it was a harsh time, it would like rain fireballs from all over the place. There will be asteroids, there will be comet strikes, lots of stupid shit happened there. And it was not a good time for doing anything really. Forget about startups and anything else. The world had to start up first, right? So we were in a very startup mode. The atmosphere was really bad. There was no life. Same thing here, harsh times, there's no product. There was no customer, there was no money. But there were some people somehow stupid enough to believe that something could be made. And I have no reason to believe that that can happen again. I am not doing this again, that's for sure. It's just too much trouble to go back into. All right, let's move on. 4 billion years from now, which is like just 500 million years from the Earth was formed, we have the first existence of the first living cell, which was very, very simple, could do basic stuff, like could probably eat, move around a bit and stuff like that. So life was very, very young at that point of time. And in December 2012, which is like 8 months from when we started, we got our first MVP. Now, what is an MVP? Really, there is no definition. If you go to the investors, the MVP could mean anything. If you go to customers, it would mean anything. To your dad, it will mean something completely different. So you know what? It's an unknown charter territory. But we had an MVP in 2012, which could do basic jobs, which could pretty much save what we are talking about, which made sense. Now, as it happens in every time when life starts to do something good, something stupid happens. So in 2.4 billion years back, the first major mass extinction happened on the planet. But that was actually a good thing, because 95% of species died out, and it left out only one kind of species which actually was exhaling oxygen into the atmosphere, which is what you are all breathing, I am breathing, and everybody else is breathing, is because that mass extinction ensured that those stupid creatures which give us diseases and stuff are now dead. It's the same thing which we did here, by the way. When we began, we thought, well, we could probably do, it's a model for the factory, so we deploy in their factory and we'll train them. We decided, you know what, that's just too much work. So we ditched that complete thing, and we said, you know what, we're going to do 100% SaaS from there onwards. So that was decided. It's a very important decision for us when we started up. After almost like 9 to 10 months time, we decided that we should definitely do fully SaaS, not go into the deployments at all, which is exactly what happened there as well. So that's the reason why our life could flourish, and this is the reason why our business could flourish. So let's continue with our journey on both the sides. 600 million years back, the ozone layer forms because of this hyperoxygenation that all these new creatures are now, giving the oxygen in the atmosphere. That stopped the ultraviolet rays from penetrating straight through into the planet, which would mean that complex life could evolve. Because ultraviolet ray, by the way, is not a great thing. Other than cancer and whatever things the SPF creams tell you these days, sunscreen cream tell you, it's actually not good for evolution and biology anyway. Same thing which we did, by the way. For the same time, we were almost like a year old into our stuff. We were going into diverse factories because of our SaaS advantage. We'd go diverse factories, which were meaning denim, lingerie, trousers, suits, everywhere, and continue to show them value and really good results all around. So that's how our journey continues. And then a very big leap happens in both these sides. 400 million years back, one of the creatures just leaves the comfort of the aqueous life, which is, by the way, life was all marine before that. It's like it was all inside the large ponds and oceans and rivers of the world, and they creeped out of that and started to walk on the ground. That's very important. That's an extremely important step that happened, and we did the same. We creeped out of India, and we also kind of went to different countries to see exactly how these countries look like, and they really look very nice and very interesting to us. So that amphibian leap of life ensured that terrestrial life could begin. That leap from India to Sri Lanka, by the way, I'm traveling to Sri Lanka this evening again, ensured that we could look into the international business, which otherwise we probably would have just not worried about, because India is a pretty large country by itself. Then, when everything starts to go good, something starts to really go even bigger. what happens 300 million years from now is so much oxygen in the atmosphere that these creatures grow super large. Like dragonflies, which are this size today, were as big as eagles because the oxygen content in the atmosphere was 44%, which is amazing. Same time, if you look at 2013, funding was everywhere. All you need to do was stand and speak 2 sentences, have a PPT which did not have a grammatical error, and you will get some funds. Pretty much like this, right? You know, oh, yeah, okay, what are you making? You're making a aggregation for this. Oh, great, wonderful. It will be $1 billion market. Everything was a $1 billion market. Like even somebody wanted to have like a maid aggregation, we will find like Excel sheet में multipliers to like $10 billion market. Therefore, this guy can, it's a great time. Species grew really big, and our fundings grew really big. While we were into all these small factories trying to show them results and stuff. It was a tough time for us because we were small guys. Apparently, we were not breathing oxygen apparently that point of time. But anyway, so that's how it happened. But this is what happens when every story of evolution, when everything starts to go good and great, well, something has to go wrong. And exactly what happened. 250 million years ago, the biggest mass extinction of the planet, Permian dying, right? It's the time in which 95% of species were obliterated from the planet Earth. Gone forever, right? And biggest crunch for us, 2013 October, 1.5 years from starting up, no jobs for anybody, no customers. There is some product which is doing something. There's 28 days of cash left in the bank. So we all congregate together, in my terrace, and we all decide, okay, lagta hai ki we are going back to our stupid jobs again, something like this, So that's how it happens. Life almost came to an end because of a super volcano activity. We have the information of that stored in all the manganese nodules in all the sea floors all around the world. We know this very, very clearly. It's a scientific fact. This is also a scientific fact because there were 28 days of money left. You could just divide the amount of money you're spending by what you have there. Scientific fact, 28 days. And then, that's what happens that when 95% of species are dead and you're almost dead, you could either go 100% dead or you can come back to life, right? So, well, great thing happened there. Mammals sprang up and they became, the first time the world could see mammals. And you know what? You are a mammal. So am I. So these are our ancestors who 110 million years ago, because of this great dying of Permian era could actually come up. And this is what happened to us. We got our first mammal too. We got our first check for 1.5 lakhs. Amazing. It's like unbelievable. You cannot even imagine what it does to you when you have 28 days of money in the bank and you get another 28 days. Right? That's like 100% jump from you want to show an Excel sheet to to whosoever is concerned that point of time. But that's happened. Looks like we survived. And at that point of time, I was doing my road shows and puppet shows and magic shows and all these events to Harvard Angel, Bangalore Angel, Calcutta Angel, Mumbai Angel, Charlie's Angels, everywhere. And you know what? And somehow it so happened that some guys were crazy enough to put $200,000 into our business. And that was our seed round funding that happened in December 2013. We were now a possible business because the mammals were there. Our first mammal was there, and you know what? There's plenty of food to eat as well. All right. Now, 65 million years ago, some space rock comes and decides to visit Earth without any invitation and obliterates all the dinosaurs. All good news for mammals because now it doesn't have to worry about competing with the T-Rexes. And if you have not seen Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and the other 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are coming in the next couple of years, dinosaurs are not good news. All right, they eat you. So if they are gone, and that means you have got a free reign, you can pretty much survive and thrive. Is exactly what happened. Mammals became the most dominant species on the planet. And here's what happened. India business almost gone for us. And our business is mostly now international. We're talking about April 2014. Now, in just 1.5 years, we realized that India is not so conducive for our kind of business because the mindsets in this country is extremely archaic when it comes to putting up money for things like these SaaS-based products. I think it's not the first time I've spoken on this platform, so I'm not saying something sacrilegious for sure. So that's what happened to us. And then 6 million years from today, the first ape-like creatures started to appear on the planet. So that's where our ancestors started to appear. And in April 2015, we made our first $1 million. And I'll tell you how important $1 million is. When I was in Terracotta in the US, we were doing the startup, and we made the first $1 million. We were invested by Anderson Horowitz and lots of big names. They threw a party for us in Vegas, right? A sinful party. I can't tell you more about that, but an amazing party because we had hit $1 million. And I thought that, लगता है हिंदुस्तान में $1 million का ना बहुत आसान है, because everyone's like the numbers were like 10 billion का revenues हो सकता है, and it was unbelievable to me because we did not know their balance sheets and stuff. वो eventually बाद में पता चला. That's okay. The point is that the point is this is important. $1 million in revenue is not easy to make even today. Even today, with whatever SaaS and this that has come up to the platform, it's not easy to make. But still, we made that in 2015. And we thought we could grow into a large business. Exactly what I don't think the hominids thought that they could grow into sending spacecrafts into the interstellar space. But anyway, now in hindsight, we think we know about that. That's how it happened. And then the last important part was the human species was competing with another kind of parallel species, the Neanderthals. They're also gone. 30,000 years back, they're dead. That's it. They're end of story for them in Europe. And that's it. Good news for us, the India business is extinct. There is no more India business. It's completely international. It's all out there in different countries, but nothing in India. Unfortunate. But think about this. If the life had not crawled out of water 400 million years back, and we had not taken these flights to go to different countries, we would have been dead. That's simple as this. You would not have heard this amazing talk if that would not have happened, right? So see that, your personal gain as well. So there you go. So 15,000 years back, we discovered organized agriculture. We were no more hunter-gatherers moving from one place to another in search of food and prey and good weather and praying to God and stuff like that. Yeah, the praying to God continued probably. But anyway, 15,000 years back, we discovered to make large settlements of human beings who could sit down and share a space and not squabble. Right? We're kind of getting there. We're still squabbling, but it's all right. We're kind of getting peaceful ever since. And same thing which we did. We realized that we're too much running around, because if I have to run my business in Pakistan, and believe me, it's a pretty good business in Pakistan, I cannot hold an Indian flag to my chest, because I can, the company cannot. So we had to change our stance a bit. So we actually incorporated the organization in Singapore. And we raised a Series A round of $3.2 million. It's the first time I've said this in any platform, because we do not talk about fundings out in the public. We are kind of a stupid company. All right, so is that for the funding or the fact that I did not talk about that before? Whatever, don't worry about that. So that's happened in September 2015, not far from today. And in 1946, just after the World War got over, we sent out the first radio signals to the outer world. Now, radio signals are something which we all, are now using for searching for extraterrestrial life and communication with the satellites and everything else. So, for last 70 years, 70 light years is how far the human existence has been broadcasted to. Anybody beyond that does not know we exist. How big is this universe? Okay. We are a part of a solar system which is a part of 400 billion stars of our Milky Way galaxy, and there are 100 billion such galaxies. So we are very, very small. The Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across in diameter, and we have just traveled 70 miles of that, 70 light years of that. 2016, we are now truly global. We have a setup in Singapore. We are $3.5 million in revenue run rate. 40% profits, all right? I'm a profitable organization. Every time I meet the investors, I tell them, I'm not running an NGO like you are doing, my friend. It's a for-profit organization, nakedly for profit, that's it. So if you cannot show me profits, well, you don't have a business. What you have is a good college project. Good luck running that for as long as these guys give you the money, because I am not betting on it. My point is that this has to be done on profits. And this is another thing, that we are in enterprise SaaS space. We convert 28% of people whom we meet in customers. In this room, there are 50 people. We would end up gobbling 10 of you as customers. No, don't worry about that. You guys are something else, right? So that's the point. I mean, the point is that your business can only sustain if you are profitable, if you're able to close it, if you're able to send it to more than your friends and family or whatever it is. And that's what we are aiming to do. Now, it is 4.5 billion years of evolution of the Earth and 4.5 years of evolution for us. What is common? The common is the future prospect. Where can life go from here? Will life squabble and pollute and kill each others? Or will it actually be smart enough to gather itself, sustain itself, and then probably move on to different planets and interstellar spaces, as a lot of movies and stuff promise? What's the future for us? By the way, I believe that that's exactly what we would end up doing. We are an intelligent species. We have faced grave threats and dangers and whatnot. We have run through that, and we can do that as a species. Similarly, for us as an organization, I think this is where we are headed. We are going to become the largest government technology solution. There are 3 ways in which we can do $100 million annual run rate business. And when you have 3 ways to reach a particular spot, I'm betting that you will reach through one or probably multiple. This space of government technology is free. Nobody cares about it. Like I said, the most brilliant minds of our times is actually wanting you to buy something online, right? And you know what? They're really buying bullshit. You go to Flipkart, they're selling cow dung cakes online. So bullshit is now being sold openly, and people are buying it. Great news. The point is that if that's where it is, that the most brilliant mind is selling you bullshit, then you know what? People like us, we are not dinosaurs. We do not have such big teeth and claws and and saber tooth or I don't know, whatever it is. We are the humble mammals. We're not the cockroach, by the way. This is one quick point I just want to point out, that there's a lot of talk written about cockroach startup. That's bullshit, right? Cockroaches have not evolved in 1.5 billion years. If you want to have a business which will look exactly like this 1.5 billion years, that's not a business, that's a religion, right? That doesn't change, that's religion. So you got to have a business which can evolve, which could actually lie low in times when it's not so good going, and then you can really spring up and do amazing stuff. That's exactly what I have to be. So I am a mammal startup. I don't know if you want to create a cockroach or a unicorn. I don't care about these 2 things. One is a mythical being, does not exist. The other thing doesn't evolve. So both of them are out of questions for me. We are a mammal startup, right? We will be able to grow and send the spaceships outside while you can eat whatever, and you are a mythical being, you can do whatever. That's where we are headed from here. And like I said, this is an amazing opportunity for me specifically, because I remember my days in BID a lot. I spent 4 years in recreation. There were some mid-sims and end-sims as well, which I vaguely recall. But the point is that from there, building up a business is not that hard, and it's unnecessarily glamorized. Like startup ka CEO hai, boss. It's just another job, right? It's just hard, okay? It's just a little harder than what the other jobs are, but it's just another job. Let's not glamorize things for unnecessary sake. And let's solve some very basic problems for your business. Business is not impossible or hard to understand. You don't need to go out in search of people with gray hairs or long hairs or no hairs. Doesn't matter. It is just as long as you have a decently logical brain inside those hairs or no hairs, you'll be able to make some sense out of that. That's what I'm trying to do. It's a continuous challenge which we are trying to solve. It's never solved, but I think if we solve enough problems, we get to send the spacecraft to the outer space and end up becoming the largest government tech company by 2020, which would mean that in 2020, whatever you wear would be planned by us, whichever bed sheet you sleep on would be planned by us, and whichever car seat you drive on would be planned by us. Let's see if that day comes on. Thank you very much.